Krishna. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripastamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Om Jnanatimrandasya Gyanjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shimte Jayaptak Swaminate Namni Namah Acharya Padaya Nitai Kriva Pradayane Gorakatha Dhamdaya Nagargram Dharni Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminate Namni Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharne Nirvisesh Sunyavadi Paschat Deshtarni Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 11 Chapter 27 Text
Sure, Mataji.
7 Text 7 Vaidikas Tantriko Mishra. Prabhu, you only have yes. Vaidikas Tantriko Mishra iti me trivido makah trayanam ipsitenaiva vidhana mam samarcharet. One should carefully worship me by selecting one of the three methods by which I receive sacrifice: Vedic, Tantric, or mixed. Purport. Vaidika refers to sacrifice performed with mantras from the four Vedas and auxiliary Vedic literature. Tantrika refers to such literatures as the Pancharatra and the Gautamiya Tantra, and mixed indicates utilization of both literatures. It should be remembered that superficial imitation of elaborate Vedic sacrifices will not bring one to the actual perfection of life. One must perform sacrifice according to the prescription of the Supreme Lord, who recommends for this age the chanting of his holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such a wonderful Lord. He has made it so simple for us, and which will give us the highest truth. But only our consciousness has to adapt. We have to have complete faith. Yes, Krishna has said, Lord Chaitanya has said, we have to have absolute faith. Gaur-Nitai are the incarnations for this age, Yuga Avatar. And they have said, Hare Krishna mantra, that is where I'm going to put my heart and soul in it. That's all we need to do. Other things will follow. I mean, whatever we need to do, I mean, it's not, we do so many other things, like we also do Vedic sacrifice, we also do deity worship, we do all that. But most important is the Hare Krishna mantra. That's where we have to, because all these elaborate Vedic sacrifices will not bring one the actual perfection of life. We think, oh, this is so easy now. How will it give me perfection? I have to struggle a bit. I have to go do this, that, get all the ingredients, call some Brahmana priests, and then do all these things. So many rituals. Then only I'm doing something for Krishna. If I simply sit and chant Hare Krishna or do Kirtan, this is very easy. Maybe how will it please Krishna? We might have a doubt, because normally it's like that. The more elaborate it is, then we think, oh, see, so much efforts has gone into worshipping the Lord. But Krishna doesn't want any formalities. He is working on our consciousness directly. And most important is, it's not even how much effort we are putting in worshipping him, it is how surrendered we are to him. That's the most important thing. Those elaborate rituals are mainly meant for pleasing him for material benefits. But he doesn't want all that. He is not interested in keeping us in material bondage. He just wants us to surrender to him. That's all. Then he's very happy. You don't have to struggle to do anything. Just bare minimum, whatever is told. That's what people cannot understand. Outsiders, that is, what is this ISKCON? Because they feel they are all doing much more. And here in ISKCON, very, very simple. Yajnas also, not elaborate recitation of so many mantras and all that. So they think, oh, this is not. It just depends on how sincerely we chant the Hare Krishna mantra. And also, whatever, a few mantras only they chant, mostly within ISKCON. And then now they take a few from Sri Vaishnava things also. That's very nice. But without bhakti, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's made it very simple for us. Why should we go for complicated? And we'll feel very, very joyful. And that joy is that Krishna is very happy. So is Vaidika, this is all for another age that Krishna has written. I receive sacrifice, Vedic, Tantric, or mixed, and all that. But we are most Vedic is Hare Krishna chanting for us. Yada swanigamenoktam dvijatvam prapya purusha yata yajetamam bhaktya shraddhaya tannibodami. Now please listen faithfully as I explain exactly how a person who has achieved twice-born status through the relevant Vedic prescriptions should worship me with devotion. The word Swanigamam Mena refers to the particular Vedic injunctions relevant to one's social and occupational status. Members of the Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya communities all achieve Dvijatvam, twice born status, by initiation into the Gayatri Mantra. Traditionally, fully qualified Brahmana boys may be initiated at age 8, Kshatriyas at 11, and Vaishyas at 12, provided the proper conditions are met. Having achieved twice born status, one should faithfully worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his form of the deity, as the Lord himself will describe. Archayam standile gnau va surye vapsu hrididvija dravyena bhakti yuktorchet swagurum mam amayaya. A twice born person should worship me, his worshipable Lord, without duplicity, offering appropriate paraphernalia in loving devotion to my deity form or to a form of me appearing upon the ground, in fire, in the sun, in water, or within the worshipper's own heart. First, he said all the other metals, the what it can be made up of. Now he's saying the form to my deity form or to a form of me appearing upon the ground, in fire, in the sun, in water, or within the worshipper's own heart. So if the form appears, I can understand form appearing in fire, because sometimes in the yajnas, we've seen it looks like Krishna. So that, I mean, when the person is chanting very nicely, I've seen Krishna appearing in the fire. So, Purvam Snanam Prakurvita Dautadantonga Shuddhaye Ubayairapi cha Snanam Mantrair Mrid Grahanadina. One should first purify his body by cleansing his teeth and bathing. Then one should perform a second cleansing by smearing the body with earth and chanting both Vedic and Tantric mantras. Sandhyopastyadi karmani vedana chuditani me Pujam tai kalpayet samyak sankalpa karma pavanim. Fixing the mind on me, one should worship me by various prescribed duties, such as chanting the Gayatri Mantra at the three junctures of the day. Such performances are enjoined by the Vedas and purify the worshipper of reactions to fruitive activities. So many karmas are burnt out by chanting the Gayatri Mantra very nicely with full attention. Shailidharu mai lauhi lepya lekya chasaikati manomai mani mai pratimashta vidasmrita. The deity form of the Lord is said to appear in 8 varieties. That's what. This is stone, wood, metal, earth, paint, sand, the mind, or jewels. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that certain deity forms, such as those made of sand, are manifested for a brief time to fulfill a personal desire of the worshipper. Those, however, who desire to attain pure love of God should worship the permanent form of the deity made, for instance, of marble, gold, or brass, and they should maintain continual worship. In Krishna consciousness, there is no scope for neglecting the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because we don't have just a painting, especially in the temples and also at homes, we have deities, not temporary things like a painting or made of sand, especially like they do for Ganesh Chaturthi. They go, it's just for that 10 days, and then they go and immerse them in the water. Chalachaleti dvividha pratishta jiva mandiram udvasa vahane nastha stirayam uddhavarchane. The deity form of the Lord, who is the shelter of all living entities, can be established in 2 ways, temporarily or permanently. But a permanent deity, having been called, can never be sent away, my dear Uddhava. The devotees of the Lord understand themselves to be the Lord's eternal servitors, recognizing the deity to be the Lord himself. They permanently install the deity and engage in perpetual worship. The impulseless, however, regard the eternal form of the Lord as a temporary manifestation of illusion. In fact, they regard the deity form as a mere stepping stone in their ambitious program to become God. Materialistic persons of whatever stripe consider the Lord to be their order supplier, and so they make temporary arrangements for religious ceremonies to achieve temporary material sense gratification. This temporary mode of worship is favored by those desiring to exploit the personality of Godhead for their personal ends, whereas the loving devotees in Krishna consciousness eternally engage in worship of the personality of Godhead. They install permanent deities meant to be worshipped perpetually. So in the religious ceremonies, like they ask for, they just make temporary arrangements made of sand or which else? Earth, yeah, or mainly earth, or even of what else? Painting. I don't know, temporary things, they only use the sand. Yeah. Astirayam vikalpasyat standile tu bhavedvayam snapanam tva avilpyayam anyatra parimarjanam, or even on the ground if they are traced. That's what. The deity that is temporarily established can optionally be called forth and sent away. But these two rituals should always be performed when the deity is traced upon the ground. Bathing should be done with water, except if the deity is made of clay, paint, or wood, in which case a thorough cleansing without water is enjoined. Various classes of devotees worship the deity of the personality of Godhead according to their various stages of faith in the Lord. An advanced devotee of Lord Krishna understands his eternal loving relationship with the Lord, and seeing the deity as the Lord himself establishes an eternal relationship with the deity based on loving servitude to him. Understanding Lord Krishna to be the eternal form of bliss and knowledge, a faithful devotee makes a permanent arrangement for deity worship, installing the Lord's form, made, for example, stone, wood, or marble. The Salagram Sila is considered to be automatically installed even without the formal ceremony, and so it is forbidden to call the deity with mantras or ask the deity to leave. On the other hand, if one prepares a deity form by drawing on sanctified ground or by constructing a sand image, one must call the deity with mantras and then ask the deity to leave the external form, which will soon be demolished by the natural elements. The general principle is that a pure devotee of the Lord understands his relationship with the deity to be eternal. The more one surrenders in loving devotion to the deity, the more one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna is a person, but he is the Supreme Person, possessing his own unique feelings. One can easily please the Lord by devotional service offered to his deity form. By pleasing the Lord, one can gradually progress in the mission of human life and eventually go back home, back to Godhead, where the deity personally appears before the deity, appears before the devotee and welcomes the devotee to his personal abode, known throughout the world as the kingdom of God. Uh, so the temporary thing is if it's drawn on sanctified ground or if they make it out of mud, and then it's only temporarily installed, and then we ask them to go away. But of course, uninstalled deities which we have at home, every time we start the puja, we wake them up and we request them to be there. And when then we put them to sleep, though the same ritual is done in the temples also, they ask the Lord to go to sleep, but then he is sleeping there. Whereas when we um, because it's not installed deities, only when though we do put them to sleep and all that, the deity, Krishna appears when we start the puja, and then he is not there all the time. Like in the temple, installed deities means you ask them to come and stay permanently, and he will never leave. And that's why those installed deities, somebody has to always take care of them. And some during the Muslim rule, because they tried to um, take away, deities and destroy them, they used to hide them. And for some time, they used to be under a bush or something. The deity would be without worship. That is extreme cases. But otherwise, the deity once installed, there are so many temples where there are not enough proper pujaris to take care. That's a sad state of events in Kali Yuga. But that is very, one has to look after them nicely and very cleanly. Like in ISKCON, the standards are really set very nicely. You won't find any cockroach and all that in the altar room or in the kitchen. So all this is an expression of our love and our faith that Sri Krishna is there, and so we should serve him very nicely. And it's very inspiring to know, the purport he's saying, how um, they loving the loving devotees of Krishna consciousness eternally engage in worship of the personality of Godhead. They install permanent deities meant to be worshipped perpetually. No, then he says, eternal relationship. So we have to become very attached to our deities, understanding that they're non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. An advanced devotee of Lord Krishna understands his eternal loving relationship with the Lord, and seeing the deity as Lord himself establishes an eternal relationship with the deity based on loving servitude to him. So that is, Prabhupada said that it's very difficult to always meditate on Krishna, but you can think of your deity. You can think of your deity every day. You're worshiping him. Always, oh my deity. That's where three times we, at home only three times we do give them, offer them, and we put them to sleep, and again wake them up, and all these things. So by serving like that, then one develops an attachment to the deity. So if you are always thinking of your deity, that is as good as meditating on Krishna. Dravyai prasiddhair madhyaga pratimadishva amayina bhaktasya cha yata labdhair hridi bhavena chaivahi. One should worship me in my deity forms by offering the most excellent paraphernalia. But a devotee completely freed from material desire may worship me with whatever he is able to obtain, and may even worship me within his heart with mental paraphernalia. A devotee still troubled by material desire tends to see the world as an object of sense gratification. Such a neophyte devotee may misunderstand the Lord's supreme position and may even consider the Lord an object of his own enjoyment. Hence, the neophyte must offer opulent paraphernalia to the deity so that we may constantly remember that the deity is the supreme enjoyer and that he, the neophyte, is simply the worshipper and is actually meant for the deity's pleasure. In contrast, an advanced devotee, one fixed in Krishna consciousness, never forgets that the Supreme Lord is the actual enjoyer and controller of everything. The pure devotee offers his unalloyed love to the personality of Godhead along with whatever paraphernalia is easily obtained. A Krishna conscious devotee does not waver in his devotion to Lord Krishna, and even with the simplest offering, he completely satisfies the personality of Godhead. So we see how the deity of Sanatana Goswami, he couldn't, he was, because he was busy doing other work, he had got other seva of writing books and all that. And then, so he just kept the deity in the beginning only around his neck. No, he would place him on the tree. And then he would go and get some alms because he never cooked or something. So in Vraja, people would give rotis. And those rotis, without anything, without nothing, just rotis. So the Lord said, he I don't know how that worked because they would have probably offered it to their own deities, or maybe they, I don't know how they gave. So he came and gave it to the Lord to eat chapatis. And then the Lord one day spoke and said, what is this, Sanatana? Only chapati, at least you can put some salt now. I mean, something to go with it. He didn't even ask for sabji, poor thing. He just said salt. But Sanatana Goswami said, see, today you're asking for salt. Then if I give it to you tomorrow, you'll ask for something else. then I don't have time to do all that. So you be happy with this only. So he could say all this because he had no material desire at all. He didn't think anything was for his enjoyment. And his devotion to him, even the other services he was doing, was for him only. So that is why he could say like that. But we can't say such things. Krishna, today, no food for you. Just be happy. Yeah. Just take one fruit and keep quiet. So we can't talk like that. That is offensive. But and he's saying, may even worship me within his heart with mental paraphernalia. That also examples we know in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where, what is that devotee? He was, I forget his name. He wanted to serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so much when he was walking towards Vrindavana. So from Navadvip right up to Vrindavana, he wanted to make a jeweled pathway with lot of, water pitchers on the way, very scented, full of flowers on the way, very soft, so that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will have a wonderful time walking over it. And it was in his mind, it was coming, what all to do for him. But then up to Kanai Nachala, he made a super road. Then at that point, it wouldn't go further than that. He couldn't imagine, or I mean, in his mind, he could not create the road further. So then he understood maybe Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not going to Vrindavan this time and only will go up to Kanai Nachala. And likewise, that year, he went to Ramakeli, and then Sanatana and Rupa said, don't go with big crowds like this to Vrindavan. It'll be very difficult for you and all that. They were mainly scared that he will draw a lot of attention from the Muslims, Mughal rulers. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu listened to them and he returned back to Orissa, to Puri. So we can see that mental worship is real also. I mean, this is for advanced devotees. Even with simplest offering, he completely satisfies the personality of Godhead. We can't say, oh, Krishna, today I don't feel like cooking. So mentally, I'll offer you, I'll make one, whatever. And, we can't do that. We have to actually do. But this is for advanced devotees. Stanalankaranam preshtam archayam eva tudava standile tattva vinyaso bahnav ajya plutam avi surye chabhyarhanam preshtam salile saliladibi shraddhayopaghritam preshtam bhaktena mamavari api. In worshipping the temple deity, my dear Uddhava, bathing and decoration are the most pleasing offerings. For the deity traced on sacred ground, the process of tattva vinyasa is most dear. Oblations of sesame and barley soaked in ghee are the preferred offering to the sacrificial fire, whereas worship consisting of upasthana and arghya is preferred for the sun. The sun, because the Surya Narayana is in the sun. So that is how the form of the Lord in the sun is worshipping Surya Narayana. So we can just, consisting of upasthana and arghya is preferred for the sun. One should worship me in the form of water by offering water itself. Actually, whatever is offered to me with faith by my devotee, even if only a little water, is most dear to me. So when we worship Ganga, we take the water from her and then offer it back to her. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present everywhere. And Vedic culture prescribes various ritualistic methods for worshipping the Lord in his various manifestations. The principal item is the faith and devotion of the worshipper, without which everything else is useless, as the Lord describes in the next verse. Mhm. So there are different ways to worship the Lord. He's saying the temple deity, the most pleasing thing is bathing and decoration, and that traced on the ground process of tattva vinyasa is most dear. So, and the fire sacrifice, if what is just offering of sesame and barley soaked in ghee are the most preferred one. And then how to worship for the sun, of offering upasthana and arghya. Arghya is offering water also. One should worship me in the form of water by offering water itself. So the most important thing is the love and devotion. So he's saying, even if only a little water is offered, whatever is offered to me with faith by my devotee is most dear to him. Bhuriyapi abhaktopahritam nametosaya kalpate gandho dhupah sumanaso deepo annadhyam cha kim punah. Even very opulent presentations do not satisfy me if they are offered by non-devotees. But I am pleased by any insignificant offering made by my loving devotees. And I'm certainly most pleased when nice preparations of fragrant oil, incense, flowers, and palatable foods are offered with love. The Lord has stated in the previous verse that even a little water offered with love and devotion gives him great pleasure. Therefore, the words Kim Punaha indicate the Lord's um, complete happiness when a suitably opulent offering is made with love and devotion. Um, but an opulent offering made by a non devotee cannot please the Lord. As Srila Jiva Goswami explains, the rules and regulations concerning deity worship and the listing of offenses against the deities are all meant for helping one to avoid precisely this kind of disrespectful or neglectful attitude towards the personality of Godhead in his deity form. In fact, all offenses against the deity are based upon irreverence and disregard for the Lord's position. Um, in fact, all offenses against the deity are based upon irreverence and disregard for the Lord's position as master, and thus upon disobedience to his orders. Since one must worship the deity with reverence, one should offer opulent presentations to the deity with love. For such presentations both enhance the respectfulness of the worshipper and help him avoid offenses in his worship. So, the most important ingredient is the love and devotion. And one must offer opulent presentations to him. And when do we commit deity aparadh? Because if we forget, because of irreverence and disregard for the Lord's position as the master. And also when we, because the disregard for the Lord's position as master and thus often disobedience to his orders. Since one must worship the deity with reverence, one should offer opulent presentations to the deity with love. For such presentations, both enhance the respectfulness of the worshipper and help him avoid offenses in his worship. Shuchihi sambrita sambhara prag darbai kalpitasana asina prag udag varchet archayam tva ata sammukha. After cleansing himself and collecting all the paraphernalia, the worshipper should arrange his own seat with blades of kusha grass whose tips point eastward. He should then sit facing either east or north, or else, if the deity is fixed in one place, he should sit directly facing the deity. The word Sambrita Sambhara means that before beginning, before beginning the deity worship, one should place all necessary paraphernalia nearby. In this way, one will not have to get up continuously to search for different um, okay, if the deity has been permanently installed, then one should sit facing the deity. So this is true even for deity worship. Suppose you have not kept flowers and then in between the arati you run and go and get flowers, or something is missing, then you go. That is not correct. Everything has to be kept. So also in fire sacrifice, everything should be kept. And in between, one should not ask for something and stop the procedure and so on. Because it's like asking Krishna to wait. I've been very inefficient and I was lazy, so I didn't put everything. So you wait, Krishna, I'll go and get it. And that's very disrespectful. So, so either after cleansing himself and collecting all the paraphernalia, worshipper should arrange his own seat with blaze of kusha grass. Okay. He should then sit facing either east or north, or else, if the deity is fixed in one place, he should sit directly facing the deity. We will see how we need to. Just one more. Kritanyasah kritanyasam mad archam paninam rajit kalasham prokshaniyam cha yatavad upasandayet. The devotee should sanctify the various parts of his body by touching them and chanting mantras. He should do the same for my deity form, and then with his hands he should clean the deity of old flowers and the remnants of previous offerings. He should properly prepare the sacred pot and the vessel containing water for sprinkling. Purport. Before beginning the process of worship mentioned here, one should offer obeisances to one's spiritual master, the deity, and other worshipable personalities. There are more instructions about how to perform the ritual. But we can see that our deity worship, sometimes if you want to do all the rituals, like, if there's a course in Mayapur where they teach you even home worship with a little more details. What we're doing is very bare minimum. We can add a few things, but then we shouldn't get so caught up with the ritual that some people do only deity worship. That is okay. Like, in Vrindavan and all that, they only do deity worship seva. Then no preaching and all that. So now we have to decide, like those who are deity worshippers, because the deity requires full attention. You can't just, like Sanatan Goswami, he was doing deity worship. But for him, what happened was very soon, then he built a small cottage. And then the Lord was there. And then that businessman, he appeared on his own. He was not interested in building a big temple and all that. Because who will maintain all that? He had to do other services for preaching only, writing books. So he didn't want all that. But then Krishna arranged. And that businessman automatically came and said, I want to build a temple for your Lord. Lord himself arrived on his own. He told him, go to that businessman's house. The child is playing with my deity. You take that. And then, so then after that, he arranged for his maintenance also. So it's a lot of effort. And we have to decide what we want to do. And in fact, especially in Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given more importance even to chanting of the holy name. And so we should first have Gaur Nitai. Gaur Nitai are very merciful, happy with chanting Hare Krishna, simple food. They're very happy. And then if you're preaching also, that is, that if you're also preaching, I mean, mainly preaching, then deity worship can be not so elaborate because we won't be able to maintain. But we see that those who are not so much interested in preaching, they have time, they like doing deity worship. So there are many standards, like, even just to make them come and eat, you have to offer agya and ask them, idam asanam, you have to ask them to come and sit here, make a, like, dining table kind of serving on the table, ask them to come and sit, and then you have to offer it. And again, tell them to, okay, now you're finished. I mean, a lot of formalities. It's like you're actually serving them. So that all will takes a lot of time. If somebody wants, they can do that. But our worship is very simple. I don't know. I've sometimes felt very guilty. Oh, it is too simple. What should I do all that? Because these deity worship people will say that, but you learn all those things, and then I don't know how we're going to fit into our schedule. So that is why we keep chanting Hare Krishna, keep all your attention on that, then Krishna will make us do whatever. The whole, because we have to balance everything. We have to do so many things. In the temple, everything is, each deity worship department is, pujari is just exclusively taking care of Krishna. And that too, so many of them. You have to serve Krishna very, very perfectly at the right time. In the day, home and all that, you can't do that. So it's a little relaxed at home. I mean, 5 minutes here and there, but you can't do that in a temple. You can't say, so what, only 5 minutes. No, not even a minute. Prabhupada put a clock on the altar room and said everything has to be on the dot. We cannot make Krishna wait. And that's how he's served in the spiritual world. He's the master. And we are servants. That means we have to have so much regard for him. We can't take him cheaply and say, oh, let him wait. Today I'm very busy. And that is very advanced devotee. I mean, Sanatan Goswami did that. But that is, I mean, that's not for us. That's a kind of, casual attitude. Krishna is so kind. In the spiritual world, especially in Goloka Vrindavan, he is very, very informal. But we must have so much surrender to Krishna, so much love for him, that Krishna doesn't want all those formalities. But we, because right now we're trying to gain love for him, we have to be follow strictly. And of course, we have to keep begging them every time. We have to beg forgiveness for whatever offenses I've done, and so they notice it. We may forget. And once, that's what Krish, I got very good lesson on the importance of how to treat the deity as the Lord himself. So once what happened, Guru Maharaj was going to come the next morning. Suddenly it was told, announced, he's told us when he's coming. And so previous day we were dressing up new deity with freshly with clothes and all that. And then what happened? Um, we were doing it in a hurry. We had to finish everything, and so many things had to be done. And Subhadra, she slipped and she fell down right on the floor or somewhere on the altar only. But anyway, she fell. And then it was like, very bad. But what to do? We put them. And then I never apologized to Subhadra Devi. Like, you have to really beg, what a horrible thing to do. And then we closed it. And next morning, Guru Maharaj came and he stood in front of as usual, he went and he worshipped the Lord. And then he was walking towards his room, which was upstairs. And there was no water on the floor. There was nothing. But Guru Maharaj just skidded and fell down. Boom, like one big, he just skated almost and fell down. And we were all shocked. Why is this happening? Oh, Guru Maharaj. And then we went up and asked, and no, I'm okay. Nothing happened, he said. He was cool. He didn't get angry or anything. Then after that, we had to give him, we wanted to give him something to drink. So that also, it fell on his lap or something like that. Then something hot was given that, it burnt him. So then I realized, what is this? One after the other. After he came, we are, he's getting offended one after the other. Really, what is happening? And I told him also, why are we offending you so much? And Guru Maharaj was just laughing. He didn't say anything. But I was feeling very, very bad. And I was just thinking, why is it happening? Why is it happening? Then I realized, oh my God, Subhadra Devi fell down. And that is why Guru Maharaj fell. See, when Guru Maharaj fell down, we felt so bad. And we were apologizing, so sorry, Guru Maharaj, why did you fall down? Are you okay? And all that. And Subhadra Devi fell down and we never said anything. So that is what? It's the same now. Here we can see because he's moving and we feel so bad. So she made us realize. Then I told Guru Maharaj, this is what happened, Guru Maharaj. Yesterday, Subhadra Devi fell down, and for that sake, constantly we are doing all these offenses to you. And, it makes us realize how important it is to treat to be very, very mindful of any offense to the deity. And I begged him, you please apologize on our behalf. So then in the evening, when he was going for this thing, program, then he went before the deities and he prayed on our behalf. And then nothing after that, no more offenses. So the deities are watching and they are really there, right? And we have to be very careful. They are people. They are person. This Krishna himself. And so sweet, we got such an opportunity to render services, personal service to them. So we can remember how to serve the Lord. Simple things, whatever we can. Krishna, I want to improve my standards, but please, whatever I'm doing, with love and devotion, if we do, then they accept and reciprocate. Okay, thank you very much, Hare Krishna. In the center, devotees, are you all listening? Goranittai. Okay, Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Mataji, this just since many sevaks are there, just wanted, sometimes what happens is people, when they come from, different areas, we had something like, in one of our center, the couple who came from Mayapur, they used to stay there. And generally, as you said, they are basically they do Archavigraha. They have done some course in Mayapur, and so their way of offering also little elaborative, like they do little argue, So what happens here? What happens is, I just want to stress it, since the sevaks are there, because their mind should not get bewildered, thinking that somebody is doing little elaborate means, what we offer is a simple worship, as we have been learned there, So somebody, doing it, doing little argya there and this thing, the people, they see it, and sometimes it is a tendency of people also, since we are in this material world. We want to show something better than, always we look for more information, more new way of doing things, right? So people keep doing that, and they appreciate. So people do, more this thing, argya and this and that, and So what happens is, point to be stressed here is that people should have that clear understanding that, something is worship established by seniors, and it is better we stick to that principle rather than doing something innovative ways of, because naturally most of us are, they all have bhakti-rukshas, and most of them are gruhasthas with the children and things. So, sticking to that guideline is better, because what happens sometimes, if you say, see, Vedavit Prabhu want only this way, like this to go, they may think, why not, if you are doing something better, why not it, doing it, things like that. People will think sometimes like that,
But are they able to maintain it? Simply you do, and then something else should not be, because you have to manage so many things, isn't it?
Yeah, yes.
That's the main reason. Keep
Yeah.
it simple, and with because you have to be systematic. You have to do so many times in a day, and then you have to manage other things also. Can you do that?
Yeah, maybe, we don't know. Again, here I don't know whether, at
No,
least,
then
when
they're able
at
to
that
do.
point, I don't know whether they are able to do every time, or it is only when there is a group people are able to do that. That we're not sure. Somebody maybe, other people may be doing, who do not have any cells, who do not have any this thing. Maybe they may be doing it. I don't deny it. But what happens, even within our congregation also, there may be people who are more inclined to doing preaching service, and some people may not be doing so much of preaching service,
Yes.
So then they tend to adapt those new methods, of doing something. So then what happened when you're in a congregation, these two kind of things, little, these are not the major issues. I'm just sharing it as a fact. That's all. It's not an issue anywhere or anything like that. But just, somebody will think, oh, see, this is the way we should offer. This is much better way. Oh, Krishna likes this. Things like that. People naturally, they get carried away by those things.
Yeah, but then they will realize very soon. Don't worry. Oh, I'm not able to continue. It's very nice. Even we may be, it's natural. We see somebody doing nicely. We also want to do it. Like even Madhvendra Puri, he went there and he thought, oh, they are offering very nice, sweet. I should also learn that. That's okay. They feel like that. But then you have to see whether they can maintain that, isn't it? Simply you
Yeah,
start
maintain
in a.
that. Yeah, what happens to what I'm trying to, the point here is that one standard, everybody adapting to one standard of worship, so there is no, like everywhere it is same, all the areas. That's a better thing rather than, somebody doing something else. What I mean to say is, people have to understand the other point, that sticking to something, who is, whoever it is, the higher authority, Shiksha Gurus or so, who have told them to do this thing, that is much better rather than doing something in an innovative way. So people have to come to that understanding. That's what I was.
Yeah. Yeah, keep it simple, and this thing, you can increase your devotion now. Instead
Yeah.
of worrying about all this, you can think, oh, I must only think of the Lord when I'm doing. I should not think of anything else. And you can cook with devotion and do the arati Arati also in a very devoted way, and you can do the abhishek or bathing the deities, dressing them with more devotion. Can do that because
yes.
we have. That's what. If you are not doing other services, then maybe you'll have time. But if we want everything. No, we want preaching, especially Gaur Nitai. They want preaching. So that
Yes,
is why it is very simple. And somewhat Guru Maharaj never told us anything that what you're doing is not correct or you should do more. Nothing so far. And so that is why I'm going on. If it is wrong, Krishna will definitely make us aware of this. See, you're wanting, this is not okay. Even though I've been very desirous of wanting to improve. Bhimachutta Prabhu also, he went to Mayapur and he has done this deity course, Prabhu. And when he came, then I thought, okay, let us see and all that. But it's too elaborate. Even the less elaborate one, he said that there is one more elaborate and there is one less elaborate. He does in his home. I don't know if he's able to do every day because now he's working also. So I don't know. But he does, whenever he does very elaborately. So that is, he likes doing that. And not so much, he's not so much of a preacher. So he is able to do that. That also, he's not doing every day like that. I doubt it because with his, you know, uh, uh, he's not even staying in his house. He's staying in another place and working and all that. So with all those commitments, I doubt if he's able to every time follow that. So that is why we want to do. There's no doubt. There's nothing wrong in having a desire that I should do better. But you have to see that why has it been said? Because of so many things. Um, we have to be on time. We have to do Mangalarti and then afternoon and Sandhyarti and then offering all the food and so many things. Each time you call them and then you offer some upacharas and then you put them again, you put them back. All that is going to take time, isn't it? And that is why.
yes, Madam. Thank you. No, yeah, that's what I was saying. Sometimes, this may create a little this thing within even within some cell also. If you see, maybe the cell sevaks are able to do, but the members may be working. We don't know this. Somebody may be free, but other person may not be free.
Hmm.
So so that may create a little these things. If you So I was just sharing it with Mataji. So as you said,
Yeah, but
main thing
are
is
Bhaktiviksha leaders able to do it? They're able to manage?
maybe maybe somebody may be able to manage it. There could be people like that. Yes, there could be.
Okay, then you have two levels, one for the beginners and one for those who can.
Mataji, Hare
No,
Krishna. Pranam Mataji, please
Hare-
accept my humblest.
Yes,
Mataji, do
please.
like this process when we want to follow, doing one day and the next day when you are in hurry, if you don't do, how to take it, Mataji? Because I know that is a very long process. It will take time to offer the food and all, okay, when we have time, we can do it. We don't have time means again,
Yeah.
following the simple method. So it will create a, lot of disturbance, no, Mataji, in between the devotees also. Okay, I'm doing like this means other may think, okay, I'm doing in a simple way. Is it a proper way? Or I'm not doing correct like this, all dilemma will create, no, Mataji. That is
Yeah,
just
that's true.
wanted to know.
Yeah, that's what you can improve your devotion and do this because no, but see, yeah, sometimes no, but um, you're saying that some people want to do it. Are they able to do it every time?
No, Mataji. What I'm asking, okay, some may be doing or not doing, I don't know about that. But one day when we have time, we'll do this big process. when we don't have time, we may, sometimes we'll be in a hurry, Mataji.
No,
Like,
no, you
kids
have to maintain a
to school.
standard, na. You
That's
cannot
the same
go on
standard.
going up and down and all like that.
Yeah, that
Maybe
is
on
what.
special days you do, okay, on a festival day or something you do, that is all right. But one day you do, one day you don't do, that's not correct. Once you increase the standard, you have to maintain it.
Yeah, that is what, Mataji. Because see, morning we'll be in a hurry, Mataji. So doing that much elaborate offering, it may be difficult. Most of the people will find difficult. So, okay, morning will not do. Afternoon, if you do in that long process. So how to take it? That is what I wanted to know. Like, because it will, one time we are, means we are conditioned though. Like, when we have time, we'll do Krishna. When we don't have time, we will not do like that.
Yeah, maybe they can keep it for special days when you you're concentrating on festival days. You do all that Shodasha Upachara and all that.
Okay, Mataji.
But yeah, like for example, if Bhimachita Prabhu is there, he likes to do all that in a festival day like that. Otherwise, we don't do. We didn't even learn. We told him, okay, let us see. We thought, okay, if there is anything we can learn from him. But then it was too elaborate. Then we thought, okay, just let me have the desire. That's enough. So that is why practically, and unless you can't just do one day, yes, in a special way, and one day just ordinary like that. Yeah.
Because
So
temple
better to
means
keep it.
there are standard timings, no, Mataji. Everything is very disciplined and standards they maintain. So it may be
Yeah, and
easy.
more
But for the
people are there. So
grihasthas, yeah, for
there are
grihasthas,
more
then,
number of pujaris.
yes,
If they have
Mataji.
3 sets of deities, now
Mm,
they have to
mm.
have 12 plus 12 shift system also.
Okay.
For each deity, 4 4.
Mm.
Say morning they're taking care. Then for evening another 12. Like that, they need elaborate number of people.
Mm.
So where do we have in the house? We are multitasking everything.
Yeah. And also I remembered, Mataji, in Muscat for Sandhya Aarti also, we used to wash all the Aarti paraphernalia and, we used to do Aarti. But, nowadays that also it's difficult, Mataji, like, washing again, setting up again, like, so when we were in Muscat, no, after coming also we were doing that. But, we used to wash, Mataji, all the Aarti items and all.
Yeah.
Again for evening, like a standard of temple.
Mhm.
So sometimes
At least
because
just with water you can wash.
yeah. That's it. Mm.
Yeah. But yeah, that is what when you good.
Because when somebody is doing like elaborate procedure, so others may think, okay, I'm not doing something proper way. So like these conflicts will create.
Yeah. Yes, you
Mataji,
can keep it.
Krishna Mother Dandapranam Mataji.
Yes,
When we
Prabhu.
will get the new salagrama, we need any abhishekam or any what that called installation. I think the salagrama there is no need of any installation, right, Mataji?
No need of installation at all.
Okay. For Mataji, for ISKCON, salagrama any puja mantras are there, Mataji? Because we are doing from the Madhva Sampradaya, but any other things are there in
No,
ISKCON?
just bathe with milk and no, first day, daily either milk or water, and
Yeah, water
then
Mataji doing.
offer just this thing, no, tulasi
Yeah, that's
with
doing
something.
any special mantra for but we are doing with Purusha Sukta, something is there for in
Yeah, that some devotees chant Purusha Sukta. If you
yes.
have time, you do that.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mataji.
You have time every day. Acha, now you are at home.
Yeah, I will do every day, Mataji. Even office also, in market also I done every day. Because morning I
Okay.
get Gayatri Prasad. Salagram Puja.
Mm.
It will not take much time because maybe it will take 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, okay, that you can add, but whatever you can every day do, but minimum is only, it's very simple, salagram.
Yeah, very simple, Mataji.
Very
Salagram.
simple, offering tulsi, bathing
Yeah.
them and then offering tulsi. That's the most important.
Yeah, Mataji. That's we are doing every day.
Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. Thanks.
Hare
Hare
Krishna. Because anyway, we are doing all the aartis and all with the for the salagram also. So that is this thing. But anyway, in Mayapur also they do that. If you have time and you feel like doing, that's okay. But
Yeah,
that is not the minimum. That's
no,
not required, but you can if you want.
Yeah, time there, no, Mataji.
Okay.
Hare
Good. Instead of doing something else, it's good. You're thinking, you're doing seva to the deity. And you're also
Yeah.
preaching.
Yeah, Mataji. That is going on. Preaching also going on.
Okay, that's what. If you can consistently maintain something, it's good. You can increase. And what about chanting and all that? That also you're doing.
Yeah, chanting also doing, Mataji. Chanting and
Yeah,
preaching. Bhakti.
Yeah.
And Sunday
Okay.
going on, Mataji.
Okay, Hare
Thank you.
Krishna. Okay, we go to prayers. We pray for His Holiness Jaiprakash Swami's good health, well-being, longevity, and protection from all diseases and speedy recovery, and also protection for all his servants, and good health, well-being, longevity, and protection from all diseases for all Prabhupada disciples, and for all our devotees and their families, good health, well-being, longevity, protection from all diseases, and speedy recovery from all illnesses. And we pray for rainfall for Karnataka, and we pray for all peace and harmony all over India and also all over the world. Let us chant 3 times Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then we pray for our